But I feel like, I mean, different mushrooms do different things. Like cordyceps, for instance. There was a time when they were being used in the Olympics for people to run faster. You know what I mean? And they were accused of like using steroids. Turns out the only thing in their system was cordyceps. But cordyceps are also known, they'll take over the body of an insect and grow a mushroom out of its head and literally take control of that body like a zombie. You know what I mean? And make the creature do what it wants to do because this mushroom is an intelligent thing. And then it'll eventually kill the creature off and the mushroom thrives, and that's that.
Yo, 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 yo. If you're alive, subscribe. Another episode. I told you we wasn't stopping. I told you we wasn't going nowhere. But today, man, first before I get started, I want to just take a moment of silence, man, for Heather, man. Heather Finn. Just a beautiful soul. She died in her sleep. She, and I always like to say this because I want everybody to know she was a beautiful white girl that the black community, we accepted her. We accept anybody, but she was one of our loved ones. Like, she just wanted to do entertainment so bad. And, and she always helped us with club promotion and all type of different events. 92Q loved her. Shout out to them. 101, she was just a lovable soul. And she passed away a couple of days ago. So I just want to send a shout out to Heather, and I want to pray for. I want to let her know we're praying for your kids, and we just got you, man. We're gonna start some kind of GoFund. I know something is gonna come out about that, and man, we just want to keep her up in prayer. And I just had to lift her up at first before I start my show, and that's just what that is. But today is a good day. I've been I ain't gonna say I've been chasing this guy, but I've been following this guy. When I first met him, he was just so humble. You don't meet that many humble guys in the entertainment industry that's just welcoming and just didn't even know me like that. Of course, he knew some guys who I was around, but didn't know me like that and accepted. And I asked him for an interview, and he was just like happy, like, yeah, man, I'll do it and stuff like that. And I look up to him, and I really love what he's doing, man, because I always try to tell people the best team wins. And Slumerican is winning right now. So welcome my people, Edward Crowe, the farmer.
Man, my brother. Rick,
what's up? How you doing, man?
Going good, man. Going good, yeah.
How's everything going with you and all? Everything's going good. How's the family and all that? I know you had somebody pass here real soon.
Yeah, my mother passed in March, man. That was tough, but everything else we've been pushing and hustling, been on the road, so everything's been incredible. Yeah,
man.
Appreciate you saying Slumerican right too, but Crowe, Crowe.
Okay.
Yeah. Crowe. I had to get it right on the front end.
No, but look, most definitely, and I always I want to ask you for something.
What's up?
And I want you, and I really want this. Can I get some of those Slumerican overalls? I just want the suspenders. I just want the suspenders. Yeah, I just want the suspenders.
Yeah. You gotta rock them on the show.
I swear, I put on my life. That's what I want. I want them to rock them on the show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So man, when I
got you. I hadn't had it in me to rock them yet. I tried, but I haven't been able to pull it off yet. I'm working on it.
I got that. Don't even. When I got me on that, but I want that. But before we start, I want to get into talking about Yelawolf and Jellyroll and all those guys. But first of all, man, I want to hear a little bit about you and your story. I was looking at one of your podcasts, and you was talking about how your spiritual, and I want to say this. Everybody don't understand a drug will bring something out of you. That it ain't always all about, I'm just strung out on this drug. You might can change on the drug, and I want you to tell me your experience with that.
So you're referring to psilocybin, correct?
Yeah.
Magic mushrooms.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously for years, like you remember back in the day, reefer madness, like before marijuana was even accepted, long before it was decriminalized or legal, it was reefer madness. Remember that propaganda campaign they did?
Yes, sir.
Way back in the day. It's very similar to mushrooms. Like, for years and years and years, they've been demonized and painted as similar to hard drugs, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for thousands of years, these same substances have been being used sacramentally by tribes, and specifically like Maria Sabina in Oaxaca,
Medicines
Mexico.
in some sense.
1000% medicine.
Okay.
That's the correct word. Like sacramental use, ceremonial, ritualistic use of these substances to become in tune with the divine or a mystical experience. And nowadays, we're learning how to use them to get rid of PTSD, anxiety, depression. But I feel like a lot of that's a segue to legalities, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's also a powerful tool to sharpen your own superpower. You know what I mean? To make you a better version of yourself, whatever that is.
Most definitely.
You know what I mean? So it's come a long way in that sense. There's a lot of misinformation floating around.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something I'm working towards with a lot of these interviews and things I'm doing is trying to help people understand how to become informed. Because a lot of people who are receiving the misinformation don't even know they're misinformed.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Because you got a lot of people telling them the information that have never been through it.
All the way.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I wanted you to kind of explain to my crowd, like what it is and what it does for you.
So psilocybin is the compound inside of what they call magic mushrooms, right? Shrooms, whatever you want to call them. They've been being used for thousands of years. I mean, we can literally date back, like mushroom use they found in mummies, in glaciers and ice, maybe even millions of years old, like way, 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 way back. And mycelium, which is like the tree, the mushroom is like the fruit.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like an internet below the ground in the forest. You can watch documentaries on it, inform you better, but it's like it informs different trees as to where there's a threat. You know what I mean? Like it moves nutrients, things like that. Like this is a sentient, intelligent being essentially that's can live eternally in theory,
Okay.
right? And I know this shit sounds deep.
No, it's a learning experience. I
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
hear.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But I feel like, different mushrooms do different things. Like cordyceps, for instance. There was a time when they were being used in the Olympics for people to run faster. You know what I mean? And they were accused of like using steroids. Turns out the only thing in their system was cordyceps. But cordyceps are also known, they'll take over the body of an insect and grow a mushroom out of its head and literally take control of that body like a zombie. You know what I mean? And make the creature do what it wants to do because this mushroom is an intelligent thing. And then it'll eventually kill the creature off and the mushroom thrives and that's that. Right? So it's like psilocybin, I feel like is very similar in the sense of it can give you this knowledge just like it gives to the forest, right?
Most definitely.
But it's when you tap in your intention, what do you intend to receive? Right? And what is this setting that you use these things in? If I take them and I go to the club, obviously it's not very sacramental. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I like to use these things in nature and things like that to just kind of hold a reflective, like a mirror up to my own self, to my psyche, to better understand more about myself and the life that I live. You know
Yes,
what
sir.
I mean?
Yes, sir. So it's not a drug.
Now I would call it, like you said, a medicine.
Okay, yeah.
It's been painted as a drug, but you
that's
got to
what-
ask yourself, is that because it makes us a little more inquisitive and a little more questionable? We question things more when we use this substance.
I think some people overdo it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Is it a how much you do, or can you overdo it if you're taking a lot of it?
I think you can overdo it in the wrong settings. And there's also something that they refer to called integration,
Mm-hmm.
right? So integration is when you use the substance, you use the medicine, and then you take some time off to try to understand and make sense of what it is you learned or what it is that tortured you throughout the process. You might not always learn a beautiful message or have a beautiful ride that's just incredible. Sometimes they call it a bad trip.
Mm-hmm.
I say it's a challenging
I've heard that.
trip.
Yeah, I
You know
heard
what
that.
I mean? It's like it might be something you needed, you just didn't want to face because it's difficult. You know what I mean? So,
Wow. Well, is it? Do they grow it, or like where does it actually come from?
so they grow naturally in usually out of like horse shit, cow shit. You know what I mean? They pick them in like cow pastures and things like that. But you can also cultivate them indoors, which I'd say 70% of the mushrooms you get your hands on were probably cultivated indoors.
Mm.
And I think it's a big thing. It's very important to know where your source is, where they're coming from.
Definitely, yeah.
Just beyond the obvious, like fentanyl and these different things, but also to know when you're dealing with a sacrament, whether it's ayahuasca or peyote or psilocybin mushrooms, it's important to know where they came from, so you know the intention of the person growing them.
Most
You
definitely.
see what I'm saying? When I first started, my intention was sheerly to buy them, flip them, and make a profit. I learned real quick that it was way deeper than that. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And now I wouldn't want to buy the mushrooms from. I wouldn't mind buying weed or whatever from somebody like with that mentality. That's fine. But when it's something that goes so deep within your mind and your soul, I like to make sure I kind of know who they're coming from.
Getting it from the right source.
Right.
Because these days people sell you anything.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. I mean, I was really intrigued in that because, like I said, everybody always think everything is a drug, and
Right.
a lot of this stuff is kind of helping people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think the system has painted a lot of this stuff as drugs, and it never was. It's just like
100%.
weed being legal right now.
Right.
Like it was never illegal drug.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So no, I thought that was interesting, and I just want to tap into that first. But
I appreciate that. Yeah.
I wanna talk about your humbleness, man. How did you and Yelawolf link up first, and then link? I know y'all linked back up, but how did that relationship start?
Originally, it's a really cool story to be 100%.
I want to
But,
hear
yeah, like
it.
back in the day, I used to be a graffiti writer,
Okay.
right? And
Mhm.
just over time and being busy and shit, I've kind of strayed away from it. Still got a love for it, but back in the day, I was pretty pretty tapped in this city. I was with a crew called AM7. A lot of people know that back in the day, but I seen Wolf was sitting at a table at the lunch table at Antioch High School, and anybody in the area who was drawing or sketching or was in a black book, I was checking on them. You know what I mean? I want to know
Who's doing what?
what you write, man.
Yeah.
Who are you? You know what I mean? Are you really painting? Are you doing this? You know what I mean?
Like, are you playing? Cause
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
what I
yeah.
do.
Are you sketching at the lunch table or are you getting up?
Yeah.
And man, that's how we first met. I went up and I was like, "Well, yo, what you write?" And he looked at me and said, "Coma." And then we were just homies from there. So we started going out in what they call bombing. It's just where you're painting a town. You know what I mean? You're just going out painting shit all over the place, illegal. You know what I mean? Just tearing
So
the
you
city
done
up.
messed up. You probably messed up my wall one time.
You never know. Yeah. Yeah. But so we did that for a while, and then after a period of time, he moved back to Gadsden, and I moved to Delaware, where I was originally from. And
Okay, so it's real quick. So Yelawolf is actually from Nashville, right?
he was born in Gadsden, Alabama.
Okay.
So he's from Gadsden, Alabama. Then he
Okay.
moved here because his mother had a place here. Went to Antioch High School. That's where we linked up when, man, we linked up a little bit before that, probably when we were, I don't know, 13, somewhere around there, 14, something like that. And he went back to Gadsden. I went up to Delaware. We completely lost contact. And then years went by, and I was managing a photographer. And he came up to me and he was like, "Remember I told you Wolf wrote Coma?"
Most definitely.
So this photographer told me, and he was an incredible photographer. His name was Mr. Clandestine, and I was his manager. And one night he hit me. I never really went on photo shoots with him or anything, but one night he hit me. He said, "I'm going to shoot this guy named Yelawolf." I was like, "Oh, cool." You know, at the Mercy Lounge. Remember that spot?
Yeah, that's
So
my
the
spot.
Mercy Lounge,
I
yeah,
love Mercy Lounge. That's my
yeah,
spot.
yeah. So I said, "Shit, I'll roll with you." You know what I mean? Let me do some research on who you're shooting. So I started looking him up. Yelawolf. I was like, "Wait a minute, this looks like a friend of mine." You know what I mean?
He done changed his name on you.
Yeah, I see
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
I seen him on the cover of Double XL with Eminem, and I'm like, "Man, this really looks like my homie." He's like, "Man, you don't know, dude." I said, "No, I mean like my brother. Like this, my dog."
Facts.
And so I did my research, found a Wikipedia was like confirmed. You know what I mean? It definitely is. And we got to the venue, and whoever was the venue staff or whatever was going on, they didn't want us to have access. You know what I mean? Sometimes people are like that. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But you could
With
tell
his
that,
caliber,
yeah,
I wouldn't want you to have access neither. So
respect that. You know what I mean? So.
definitely.
So they were like shutting us down. The photographer was ready to go. And I said, "Look, man, I know this dude. Like if I see him and he tells me to leave, I'm out of here. But I at least need to see him and say what's up."
Facts.
So I made my way to the back, and a couple guys were watching the door that knew me from back in the day. And were like, "Man, come on in." And Wolf acted like, it was just yesterday that we saw each other. He was 1,000. We talk about humble. I mean, the epitome of humble. He couldn't have been more humble.
Because
what
he
I mean?
could have just kind of, even though y'all was long time friends, he could have just kind of shunned you off.
Yeah.
Because
because where he was at in life and what he had going on.
A lot of entertainers do it, and
Yeah.
not saying that, but a lot of entertainers see old friends and be like, "Oh, I'm big now, so just go on." But it
Right.
wasn't that case with you and Yellow, right?
And I wouldn't even be surprised if he did.
Did
You
that?
know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah, because he's
But he didn't. He did the opposite. He was so 1,000 that I mean I couldn't say it enough.
was this what when he was signed to M?
Hell
When
yeah!
this- okay,
It was right
okay.
when he just got signed.
Wow.
You know what I mean? It was like I want to say like 2013, somewhere around there, 2014 maybe. I'm not great with the dates, but around that time. And man, he was just 1,000, bro. And we linked back up, and all we were doing was kicking it again. You know what I mean? Like just hanging out, doing cool shit. I would go out of town with him and to video shoots and different shit like that. But at the time, I wasn't working for him. And then one day came, and I was like, I had a studio on 3rd Avenue South with a partner of mine named Hector, who's now an artist that I manage, and a really good friend of mine. You know, me and Hector had a studio called the Phoenix Room on 3rd Avenue South. It's now condos. Crazy how the city is being gentrified.
I remember the Phoenix Room.
Remember the Phoenix
I
Room?
remember the Phoenix Room. I'm a Nashville native, so
Yeah, I already know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had the Phoenix Room, and I brought Wolf over there after the event. You know, I was working with these artists and was kind of managing them, but didn't realize it. And I told Wolf one day at the car wash, I said, man, I want to work with you, but I know you're not hiring. So I'll start by taking out the trash, walking the dogs, whatever, anything you need done, just consider me the guy. And don't worry about no pay. We'll discuss that when it feels right. You know what I mean? Like I'm not asking to be hired, I'm just asking to work.
Did you say that because you was confident because you knew that you was a good manager, or that you knew that you was a good person to work with?
I believe in, to answer your question, yes. But I believe in, it started long before management, because before that I was selling his merch. I was his tour manager. I was tour photographer. I played DJ on one show in the Bahamas. But I mean, I just knew that if I had the opportunity to get in the room and prove my value, that I could become indispensable. You know what I mean? But it took me, talk is cheap. You know what I mean? So it took me demonstrating that. You know what I mean? I'll demonstrate that, and don't worry about nothing until, we feel the same way.
It's just that I love that story of just starting from the bottom.
And Russell Simmons says something that I always quote and always love is, sweep the parking lot till you own the building. You know what I'm saying? And I've been sweeping for a long time. I'm still sweeping. You know what I'm saying?
A friend of mine had a whole lot of money. And we had been friends since we were kids or whatever. So I didn't have no money. He had like $1 million, you know what I'm saying? In cash. I have never saw $1 million in cash.
Yeah.
And so this is I'm saying this is 2008, you know what I'm saying? He had $1 million in cash. So I didn't have no money.
Right.
But he was like, hey, whatever I got, you got, and we balling together. And I used to pump his gas.
Real shit.
He didn't ask me to pump his gas.
Right.
I felt like, oh, you spending all this money. We from state to state. You buy me clothes, shoes. The least I can do is pump the gas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
And I didn't care what nobody felt about that.
Right.
Because I knew where I was going. And so that it just brings me to that story right there, that humbling story. Like you taking out trash, feeding the dogs or whatever. So
I love that.
That's just a testament of your character, you know what I'm saying? So how did it go from that to now it's just like Edward Crowe is the life of the clique. And this is not me just coming on camera saying this. Everybody I run into, they just tell me how much of a good guy you are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and that's just a testament to why you are where you are. So just give us a little more background of going from feeding the dogs, cleaning up shit to where you are now.
I mean, it was a long way, but it's, again, I believe in proving your value is key, because you can be standing outside the door knocking with all the talent in the world.
Most definitely.
And they're not going to let you in the room because they don't give a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And you can't expect them to, because now when I'm in the position I'm in, I don't give a fuck either. You know what I mean? I hear somebody knocking, I don't really care.
Yeah.
I'm busy with this shit over here.
Most definitely.
But when someone comes in humble and is like, yo, I'll do this and that, then it gives me a chance to learn their character. You know what I mean? Learn that, you know what? I need this person around me. You see what I'm saying? But I went from the conversation at the car wash to doing that for a while. And Wolf always took good care of me, man. Like, I mean, he would always throw me extra. Same thing you were saying. Like, we were rolling together. That was us. You know what I mean? Like, I never went without. Period.
Most definitely.
But as a position, that was just kind of like a offer someone can't refuse. Like, y'all do all these things, and you don't owe me nothing yet. When you feel the time's right, or I feel that this ain't working no more, we'll come to that conclusion. But after that, one day he used to have a big merch company. I don't remember the name of the company right now, but one of them companies that kind of does everything for you, the whole 360. You know, they print it, they ship it, they do everything. But Wolf is a bigger visionary than being able to have something like that. Like,
and a cook, right? He's a cook too, right?
Oh, he's a hell of a cook.
Okay, but go ahead.
Hell of a cook.
Okay.
But he's just a visionary, man, and he needed more control. So we started doing Slumerican merch on our own. And I remember the day before we went out on tour, he just brought it was probably like 10 grand worth of hoodies and t-shirts and literally just put all the boxes at my feet. And I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Not that it's hard to sell t-shirts. Right. But as we've grown, there is a method to getting it done. You know what I mean? So I started selling merch. And then after that went by for a little while, I hired someone to sell merch instead. And then Wolf was like, yo, I need somebody to come shoot photos. At that point, back to the photographer, when he went on tour.
Wasn't you a photographer at one time?
Well, I do photography on the side. It's like a hobby to me. But before, when I was managing the photographer, he ended up going on tour with Drake and Miguel. And I used to, in exchange for managing him, I would have him shoot my artists. So when he moved on to tour, I kind of lost an asset. So I traded a 1972 Cadillac DeVille, which is in the Struggle Black Curtains video, for a Canon 7D, and just act like I knew what I was doing. You know what I mean?
So you went without a car. You don't even got a car.
Like,
you got a camera, but you don't got a car.
I was like, man, you can have this Cadillac. Let me get that Canon 7D. Learn how to use it. You know what I mean? Just making it happen. And went from there to being his tour photographer. And my partner, Tony Delano, goes by Cairo Wolf, incredible designer. He had the idea when I was going out to shoot the 5150 tour. He was like, yo, we need to make a book, right? And I was like, it's a great idea. You know, at the time, it didn't resonate the same way it did after I got the photos. But along the ride, I collected like tickets. I took a sketchbook for the guys to sketch in and write crazy shit while they were lit, and kind of made it like a scrapbook vibe. Mm-hmm. And it's taken us years because it's a labor of love. Like, you know, I'm paying whenever there's something to be paid, I pay for it. Cairo's doing a lot of the work just because of the idea and the love and our partnership and a bunch of things. So we're actually finished with the book now in 2023, right?
You've been writing it for
2018. So it's like, you know, it's photos, but I mean, it takes a long time to lay it out, design it. And I've since then become really close friends with legendary director, photographer Estevan Oriol, who there's a documentary called LA Originals on Netflix about him and Mr. Cartoon. And he's putting my book out under Joker Publishing, which is, I mean, it's iconic. It's like,
you know, you got to come back to the show when you drop it.
Man, 1000%. You know, I'll be back.
Let me ask you a question. Because here's, with you becoming Yelawolf's manager, somebody had to get pushed out.
Right.
So how's that transition, as in, how does that conversation with Yelawolf already got people working, and with you coming as manager, you got to bring your team in. People, I was finna run a club for a guy one time, and he got mad at me because I said, well, if I'm running your club, I don't need your people.
Right.
I got to bring in the people that I trust. So
it's a new regime.
But what about the old people? Like, how is that? Was it any kind of scuff with that, with your situation with Yelawolf? Because like I said, Yelawolf, he's a big deal. You know what I'm saying?
We fired everybody. So
we fired everybody.
Everybody off with their head. You know what I mean? Everybody's gone. But the one person, so J. Jones was his manager prior to me. Mm-hmm. And me and Jay are still close friends. That's and right. Wolf and Jay are still close friends. Jay was living in Dallas and, man, had a bunch of artists going on. He just got busy, and Wolf was busy, and everybody's busy. And Jay just had to move on. And then he kind of put me in the forefront and was like, yo, that's your guy right there. Do you know what I mean? I give him credit. Like, he's the one that said, "Hey, that's your dude, Wolf," and then Wolf put me in the position to be that. You know what I mean? And then I demonstrated, lived up to the job, and here we are. Everybody's happy. You know what I mean? We're Wolf psyched, I'm psyched, everything's good. But outside of Jay, once we made that transition, like I said, we're all still really close friends. We talk frequently. But I fired everybody else. You know what I mean? The accountants, the attorneys.
Wow.
I mean, everybody.
Yeah.
Like, and formed a whole new team.
You're fired.
You know what I mean?
You are fired.
And if somebody was thorough, we would have kept them. But we just kept seeing problems with everything. And you know what I mean? It was like, it's time to get this shit situated, man.
And that's what I always, the hardest thing about being a manager is not wanting to be liked,
Right.
I would think.
Right.
Can you give us a situation, because we always see the good part of touring and on the tour bus and everything, but what's the down, not the down part, but what's the hard part about managing an artist at that caliber of Yelawolf? Like, I want to know about an argument, and I want to know about a disagreement. You know what I'm saying? I want to know about that part. You know what I'm saying?
First of all, I'm on the phone from when I roll over in the morning till I go to sleep at night. First and foremost, right? Secondly, I mean, when you see the videos of Wolf throwing monitors in the crowd because the side fields weren't big enough, you can probably bet that I'm behind the curtain choking out the promoter. You know what I mean? Like we've had some times. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's crazy, man.
Because look, you guys, I'm gonna tell you something. Every time I'm seeing on these cars, Slumerican, I'm just seeing this stuff everywhere. And only person I actually knew that was sporting it and wearing it, and I've been knowing Yelawolf and all that, but I used to see Cook Up with it all the time.
All the way, yep.
You know what I'm saying? And man, I'm a big advocate of everybody coming together and staying together and everything. So, but how hard is it? Because I know you guys got a lot of artists on your label, and where are you guys taking this label? That's what I want to know. When it's considered Nashville.
So when I took over management, I realized that we didn't necessarily have the infrastructure for a quote unquote label.
Okay.
So I felt the right thing to do was dissolve everybody's agreement and still mess with them. Like everything's still the same.
Most definitely.
We're not holding you contractually to us. You get what I'm saying? Because we don't have the things that I feel I would want if I was on that side of the table.
You see money and...
Well, it's like I don't got $1 million advance for you. I don't have, you know what I mean? Okay. But at the same time, it just makes more sense to start from the bottom. So right now, we have Tony Martinez is the next project we're dropping, and that's a country album. And man, he's like, dude is like one of the highwaymen or something. I mean, he's outlaw country. We've been taking him out with us on these Jellyroll dates.
Most definitely. I want to get into in there with him.
Yeah.
But I want to know, like, considering Nashville, are you guys actually signing artists, and what kind of artists are you guys looking for if you're actually signing them?
Right now, I mean, it's like, we'll do production deals with artists where like maybe an album or two or something like that.
Yeah.
But I don't like to get in a situation where, we're signing someone up for something that if I wasn't on that side of the table, I would want to make sure that I felt good about it. You get what I'm saying? Like, if I can't deliver you what I personally would want, then I don't want to sign you.
Thanks.
You know what I'm saying? So I only want to benefit them. So right now, Tony Martinez is our main act. Mm-hmm. And it's we've also got Mufasa signed. Great dude working on his album. And that's gonna be dope when he's done with it. But I mean, we're not actually looking. You know what I mean?
Most definitely.
If something came along and it just made sense, that's a different story. You know what I mean? But my main focus in music business, period, is mastering what Yelawolf has to bring to the table. Like making sure he's the biggest deal out there, period. You know what I mean? Like anything we can do to make him the best, that's our first priority with Slumerican.
It should be.
You know what I mean? Because until we master that, we're still working towards that.
And so you got a lot of independent labels, which you guys are independent. That's what I love about it. You know, and I love that. I don't know, but it almost seems like Yella and y'all can pretty much do what the hell you want to do.
Man,
you know what I'm saying?
Hell we want to, yeah.
Hell you want to do. So What about how? And I've been in it for a minute, but are you guys working with any labels to actually sign people and actually get them a label deal?
Right now, nah, not really. I mean, right now all we're doing is, Tony Martinez is our main priority as far as under Yelawolf.
Most definitely.
You know what I mean? And man, when you hear him, it's like love it or hate it, you can't deny the talent. You know what I mean? Like I'm not a huge country fan, but I'm a huge Tony Martinez fan.
Well, it's talent.
Right.
I can tell it's just more talent with him than anything.
Yeah. And when you hear him, it's like when I see when he comes out on these jelly shows, the amphitheater, you could tell they're second guessing him. Like, wait a minute, what is this? By the time he's done, he's undeniable.
Let's talk about Jelly.
Let's talk about Jelly.
Let's talk about Jelly. First about Jelly, you're supposed to come on my show. I'm waiting on you. You gave me a promise that you was going to come on and answer my questions, so I'm waiting. But now, Edward's here, so you're going to feel a little more comfortable. But let's talk. I'm so happy for Jelly.
Man, I'm so proud.
I've been rolling with Jelly since he was a baby.
Yeah, me too. Since about I don't know, 93, something like that.
I want to talk about the show at the Ryman.
Right.
When Yelawolf was just nervous as hell in Jelly's new album. What has it been like working with Jelly now that he's done super crossed over?
Man, I mean,
they mention you a lot. That's the only reason I'm asking you about this stuff.
All I can say is I'm proud, man, because I'll tell you like this. The simplest way I can put it is, I mean, I knew Jelly when we were probably 11, 12 maybe. Nashboro Village, Antioch, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm just proud of him, bro. Like he never gave up. And I remember through the years watching him never give up. And I remember a lot of people with him had to stop along the way and get a day job because this shit ain't for everybody. But Jellyroll never gave up. And I feel like I've taken a similar approach in my business. I've never given up. But the level of never giving up that Jelly's done is extremely inspiring.
It's over the top.
Yeah.
Especially like, for guys like me and you who done followed him, man. That dude has been through, man.
All the way.
You know what I'm saying? And I asked him about jazz. Like, I didn't know Jelly, but I knew him through jazz when Jazz was working with him. And I know Jelly's not gonna, but Jelly, we still want a rap album.
Yeah, he's a beast. I mean, but what he's done with this crossover,
it's just amazing. I love it. I like it better than his rap.
Well, watching him command 22,000 people, you know what I mean, and bringing Wolf out and bringing us out on tour and literally bringing Wolf out on the stage too. And watching them, it's really, really, really inspiring.
What made Jelly just embrace y'all once he, and I know everybody's been around Jelly, but what made him embrace y'all once he got to where he is, which I think was a hell of an idea?
Well, I think he's just kept it 1,000. You know what I mean? Like, because we've known each other and Yelawolf known him. I've known him, Struggle, Jelly, all these guys. We've known each other for, forever, bro. And I think he's just kept it 1,000. You know what I mean? To like do anything else, we would do the same thing if the tables are turned around.
Most definitely. It's every time I think about Struggle, I was down Blackwood with him.
You were?
Down HD2.
I remember when he was right around 2011, somewhere around there.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was 2011 to be exact.
Yeah.
That's when I got locked up. 2011.
I know when he was in Blackwood, yeah.
And we always knew Struggle. And we always looked at Jellyroll like Jellyroll was the guy. Yeah. And then Struggle knew him. But when we was in there, do you know that man was getting 80 letters a day from fans?
I remember.
I'm talking about when I say his fans sending him letters every day, money, like this man getting
yeah. And he was good at that. He was good at that.
And no, seriously, and this one when I said, he's really a star. Because and we we don't have that many stars as quote unquote in Nashville. And it gave me another level of respect for him because your fans are people that respect you and like your music, and it gotta be something about you for them to be sending you letters while you're in jail and say, hey, I don't put money on your books and everything.
All the way.
And so man, Are we expecting a Jelly Roll and album with Yelawolf, or is
Well,
something like that coming?
they just did a record called Unlive off Jelly's. I believe it was a #1 record. I believe. I don't know the details for
They
sure, but
performed it at the Ryman, right?
they performed it at the Ryman,
Okay.
yeah, and it's called Unlive, and that's the one that Wolf comes out with Jelly on tour, and man, it's a really crazy record, bro. As far as an album, like they've worked together through the years.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. Maybe not. I don't know.
I'm
But
just throwing it out there. We want an album.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And I wanna go back to them for a second. But I wanna talk about Pretty Shy.
Hell yeah, let's do it.
I love me some Pretty Shy.
Shy is dope.
Shy is dope. I went up on my Instagram. They probably got mad at me. Elro the boy had light skinned Keisha and Cash down here.
Mm-hmm.
So I went up on my Instagram and said, "Hey man, it's still on there." I said, "Why y'all ain't got Shy on this show?" And they were like, "Oh, we doing something different, this and that. But guess what? They re-put her on it next when they start doing stuff.
Yeah. Once people that I appreciate.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Shy's a star, bro.
Oh my, she's a big. Shy is a real star. I'm trying to tell. Look, I be trying to tell these people, like, I've been in the entertainment business longer than most of all of them.
Right.
Shy is a star. What made you want to manage her?
Man, another really great story, bro. I had a friend named Big Red who used to be a rapper way back in the day, and you know Red, yeah, from Detroit. Yeah, Red that was my homie, man. We used to before I took on this, I was trying to be an artist.
Yeah.
And me and Red used to
like
rap
together.
Yeah.
Okay,
I was a rapper too, back in the day.
Nah,
hell no. never that. A long time ago.
Okay.
But me and Red were boys, and man, he used to take me some crazy places, but a lot of fun. But anyway, I bumped into him at Scarface show in Murfreesboro, and I was lit up, bro. I was like, oh shit, I ain't seen him in like 10 years. I was like, man, you got to get in the studio. We got to do something, right? And he was excited that night, and the next day he called me. He was like, Zilla, I'm like 44, bro.
It's over.
He was like,
It's
I
over.
play poker. I make a good living. He was like, I'm not doing that. He said, but I got this female artist who I'd love to introduce you to, and to be 1,000% honest, and Shaw knows this, everybody knows this, but at the time I was like, I'm not interested in a 17-year-old female rap. I'm just not interested.
What year was that?
Well, she's I think 23 now, so I guess about 6 years ago.
2017.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, and then finally he was like, man, what I got to do? I said, you ain't got to do nothing. You want to go to dinner? Let's go to dinner. So we go to dinner, and it was Shy, her mom, her stepdad, and her brother. And I just fell in love with her and her family, man. They were incredible people, and they had her back, and I love how they all showed up. You know what I mean? And like me and her pops went, and I jumped this fence and painted this abandoned building. When I show you the video, you're gonna lose your mind.
Still painting stuff, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Still painting on people's stuff.
We jumped the fence, and I primed the whole place and made this shit look like a Nicki Minaj set. And I mean, I had Shy jumping fences and heels, you know what I'm saying, to get to this location. And make a long story short, me and her pops ran from the police at the same time together. And I'm like, all right, I really messed with this family. This my
I went to jail and everything with this family.
Yeah. It's come to find out the cop just lived in the apartments next door and he wasn't chasing us at all. We were just running and he didn't see us. You know what I mean? But yeah, Shy's got a dope people around her. And that's what, one, meeting her and realizing the star that she is. You know what I mean? Like I said, when you say 17-year-old female rapper, I was like, I got my plate for her. I ain't got time. But when I met Shy, and I met her family, and I seen the support system, and I seen the talent, and I've worked on a set with her before, where 13 hours in, I got to stop her and be like, Shy, we got to eat. You know what I mean? Like, she's hustling the same as me. And that's all I ask anytime I ever work with an artist. Can they hustle as long as I can? Because if they drop out before me, I'm done. You know what I mean? And that's happened a couple times. It's like, oh, wait, your back hurts, your feet hurt, I'm done. You know what I mean?
And I know that's the first time I met you, I was trying to get her and Buck to do something.
That's right.
And I still want them to do. I'm telling you, Zilla, they got a hit record and it ain't even made.
I got a song to play for you though.
with Buck and Shy.
The two of them, yeah.
I'm happy. I'm happy.
Yeah.
You know, that was that
Wolf,
first conversation.
Wolf produced it.
I'm happy.
Yeah. It's not released though. You know what I mean? It's unreleased.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
I'm happy with.
But I think, yeah, they got to do more together. You know what I mean? Like,
how many songs Wolf and Buck got?
I think Wolf has produced a handful on Buck, but I don't know how many they have together where like they're both rapping. Because when Wolf started working with Buck, he was coming off that end of him doing rock and roll, and there was a period of time where Wolf was only doing rock and roll. Like wouldn't
rap
period. He didn't care. And then one night he got lit and came in the studio and Paul got him out of his element and got him on a record. And I was like, if anybody could do it, Paul could do it. Yeah, Paul could do it.
And let's talk about DJ Paul. First, I want to shout out to DJ Paul.
Man, the king of Memphis.
That man has been a support system for Nashville.
Yes.
Like, he loves Nashville artists. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to tell you something that it was just a thought for me. Gangsta Boo died.
Mm-hmm. Rest in peace, Lola.
Rest in peace, Gangsta Boo. Love her to death.
Yeah.
But now we got Pretty Shy.
Yeah. And they got a song together.
Paul and Pretty Shy?
Well, Pretty Shy and Gangsta Boo.
Gangsta Boo. I really believe Paul could take Pretty Shy to the next level too.
That's a damn good way to put it. Yeah. Well, you know, Paul produced Headbanger, which is Yelawolf, Kasky, and Pretty Shy on Slum Mafia record.
Yes, most definitely.
Yeah. No, I hear you though.
Just the thought. I'm gonna just throw some stuff out there today.
Yeah.
Can we get Paul just to come through and work with her? Because he's good with female artists.
Shit, that'd be dope. You know what I mean?
DJ Paul, we calling out to you. Come work with Shy.
And Paul's like an uncle to me. He's like a father to Wolf. You know what I mean? Like it's family.
He believes in Wolf and Buck. And,
yes.
And this Tennessee thing, man. So I'm like I said, I think
he created that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the whole. We grew up. I'm sure you're in the same boat. I grew up to 666 Mafia.
What?
Like that was a soundtrack to my childhood. You know, to call him a friend now is crazy.
Oh man, it's just my best friend is Nick Scarfo, and I don't know if you know him, but he was quote unquote the first guy that started 666.
Really?
He was about 19, and quote unquote I think he had them all in the contract and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Make a long story short, like I've been 3-6 Mafia for forever.
Right.
But I want Paul. When Paul and Buck first started working together on this album, and amazing. They not ready for this Paul and Buck album.
Oh my goodness. I've heard a couple songs, but I haven't enough of it.
They not crazy. Ready. It's crazy.
Hell yeah.
I was in the studio with Buck recording this album, like for real. It's super duper crazy. But I'm wondering what it's gonna take for Paul. I think Paul needs to sign Pretty Shy with a joint deal with Slumerican.
Yeah. I love your support for Shy, because I believed in her from that night we had dinner to, you know what I mean, like to watching her open for Moneybagg Yo at Bridgestone Arena.
Killed it.
It made me feel like a proud uncle or something. You know what I mean? Like
she got a show Sexy Red coming up too, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she got a lot of cool shit popping. It's like Shy's got what it takes. She's got that thing. You know what I mean? That thing that people can't buy. You know what I mean? You can buy a good mix. You can buy a good beat. You can't buy that thing.
You can't buy this way.
No.
I'm gonna tell you, I love when she go in there and say, "Hey bitches, meet me here." You know what I'm saying? Like Shy really got it. And I'm not pushing for her because she's Nashville. I'm pushing for her. Well, being in this is why you inspire me so much, because I came up trying to manage.
Straight up.
And I understand how hard their job is.
Yeah.
I'm going to give your credit. Like, they do not understand how hard your job is.
I appreciate you.
Like,
bro.
What makes you not want to give up?
I thrive in the chaos. I'd like to say something you were talking about earlier. Like, you know, it's like, how do you maintain this or that? Or what's the problems? I like to say, like, to be a good manager or tour manager or anything that, you know, you have to get shit done regardless. I believe in being professionally bipolar, right? So me and Wolf say, I'm professionally bipolar and he's creatively schizophrenic. That's why he puts out all these different albums. One of them's old school hip hop. One of them's some new dope shit. One of them's a big studio album. One of them, it took him one night. He's creatively schizophrenic. I'm professionally bipolar. I'm going to help the old lady cross the street and I'm going to choke out the promoter when he's tripping. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you got to be like a wartime president. You know what I mean? Like, I thrive in chaos. When shit's normal, don't get me wrong, I don't thrive around bad energy.
No, I get exactly what you're
But
talking
like
about.
when shit's hectic, that's when I do my best.
Because you just that calm spirit, and you can tell Wolf, he's kind of like he
Yeah.
he like we was at Buck's birthday party. Well, it was Keisha's birthday party, and Wolf and the
hookah
whole
lounge.
clique showed up.
Yeah.
And I've never met. That was my first time ever meeting Wolf, and he was just so humble and just so fun. It made me want to just kind of be around. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I when you see these guys on TV, you think they just so uppity and all this, and then you meet him in person, a guy like Wolf, and you just figure like Wolf, he's just a regular motherfucker like me.
It is super cool. Yeah.
Just super cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, how do you keep him in line as a manager?
Man, we've got this thing where it's like, yo, look at me. You know what I'm saying? Like we established that a while ago. Like, yo, if nobody else can get through to you, you gotta let me be able to get through to you. And that's my brother. He can do the same thing to me. You know what I mean? Like Wolf can get through to me. If I'm losing my shit, Wolf can be like, yo, check it out. Look at me right here. You know what I mean? So it's just having that, you know what I mean? Knowing that if shit gets crazy, he's gotta at least hear me say, hey bro, we gotta dial back in real quick. And Wolf is a beast, man. I mean, he's a visionary. He's creatively, and of course people would say I'm biased, but I've never met a more creative human being than Wolf. You know what I mean? Like, dude is, from the performance to the writing to the...
Well, if you just follow his Instagram, you can see, like, he's just an innovator in whatever. It don't matter if it's golf.
Anything he's doing.
Whatever he's doing. Because I always tell my partner, I'm not a friendly guy, really. You know what I'm saying? I'm very friendly to people, but how did y'all get that trust relationship? Because, we had to build. I tell my partner, like, I'm a guy, like, I'm a trustworthy type of person. So how do you guys, you think it was authentic, or did you have to build that trust?
I think a lot of it comes from, what we like painting back in the day or growing up together. You know what I mean? Like there's a element of trust there, but also just countless times on both sides, me seeing Wolf seeing me, is being in situations where someone could keep it 100 or do some bullshit. And we both kept it 100 every single time. You know what I mean? Like, I can't say nothing about Wolf. He's always kept it 1,000 with me. You know what I mean? And
I ain't heard nothing bad about him. Just
and if I ever say to Wolf, hey, Wolf, just listen to me right now, you're tripping. He's like, okay, cool. You know what I mean? Like,
that's the relationship you got to have.
And I'm the same way. If he says that shit to me, I'm like, okay, cool, I'm listening. You know what I mean? Like, we have a special connection. And that's why it works, because Wolf is a unique individual where not everybody could get through to him. You know what I mean?
And when it comes to do with shows and traveling and stuff, are you guys just doing promoters, or do you guys kind of do your own thing sometimes? Or how do me being in the promotion game, that's why I first started in promotion. How do you guys eye the markets? Like, is prices different in different markets, or do the price stay the same?
Well, absolutely. Prices are different in different markets. We have a booking agency. We use UTA, United Talent Agency, and they're incredible. But I mean, the price is going to be different whether it's a festival, if it's a club venue, if it's a headline, if it's a support, if it's in an A market, a B market, if it's 5,000 cap or 1,000 cap. There's 1,000 different variables, to determine what that value is, and then we just determine whether or not we want to take the deal. You know what I mean?
That's good. So, your opinion. What do you feel about the Nashville entertainment market? I think we got the best talent around here.
We got some crazy
What
talent.
are we lacking to not get on that main stage? Because you are a manager, and like I said, I've seen you take people I didn't know Pretty Shy.
Right.
But when I saw the promotion and everything going on, when I saw she was up under you guys, that's how I know her.
Right.
So what's What's up with the Nashville market in your
I
opinion?
think it's a global mentality. You know what I mean? Like knowing that it's bigger than this, and setting your vision bigger than this. That's, I mean, to me, that's all I can diagnose.
Yeah.
Knowing like, all right, what do we do to get past this? Okay, let's imagine that there's a whole globe. You know what I mean? That's my biggest thing. And then attacking the next region, and then the region after that, cross contaminating or collaborating with artists from other cities that maybe your analytics say you make sense to be in.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I encourage artists to cross collaborate with artists in other countries. You know what I mean? Like, Nashville has always had, I think I know what you're saying, like, has always had a thing where it's like we kind of stay right here.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
We don't really grow out of that.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know exactly. I know what you're talking about. And we just got to realize that the world is a big place, man. Let's take this, because Nashville has something unique. You know what I mean? There's a sound here all the way back to Kwani. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's
you know
my
what I mean?
dog. That's
Man,
my dog.
man.
That's my dog.
I'll fuck with Kwani.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but it's all the way back to, I mean, you know, shit, Pistol. You already know. I mean, there's a lot of hip hop history in Nashville. You know what I mean? A lot of big deals that have come throughout the years. You know what I mean? And I just think for up and coming artists is thinking globally.
Yes.
That's my, all I got for that.
Well,
is
you know,
thinking
that's
globally.
my PP. Is thinking globally. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so I totally get that. You know what I mean? So with what you guys doing, and you guys are already on the map. I mean, I think you guys can play a big part in helping make that happen. Like, whatever you're doing with Pretty Shy, I see her so big, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's gonna start a lot of, even with Cook Up.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody, you know, we all knew Cook Up, but I mean, he got with y'all and it took it to another level. I always tell Cook Up, I don't think he taking his career seriously like he should. Like, and I'm just giving this props. Like, I think Cook Up is one of the best rappers. Not because he's the best lyricist. Right. He's got a style that nobody has.
But he embodies that shit.
Yes.
You know what I mean? He's that guy.
Yeah. So how's their relationship with you, with Cook Up and the family now? Is that still?
That's my dog, man. That's my dog. Yeah, I ain't seen him in a minute, but that's my guy. We always been super tight.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I love that y'all
and from the first minute I met Cook Up, I met him on a video shoot with Heat Boy. You know Heat Boy?
Heat Boy Chris.
Heat Boy Kilo.
Kilo, yeah.
Yeah. So I was on a Heat Boy shoot and met Cook Up. I was like, man, it's something special, man. He got something. You know what I mean? And then brought him to the table. I mean, I asked both of them. I asked Wolf if he was interested. I asked Cook Up if he was interested. You know what I mean? Like, it's important on both sides, obviously. Yeah. And everybody was. So we signed him, and man, he came on the road with us. He did a TV show with us. We had a lot of good stuff happen with Cook Up.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. That's what's up. I even with him and Buck, I miss both of them.
Right.
Them both my guys. I'm a supporter of people.
Right.
I could care less about beef and drama and all that. And I still think it's some big stuff can come up out of that. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I'm telling Nashville, and I always tell y'all Nashville, everything's gonna happen when y'all come together.
All the way.
And it's gonna take big leaders like Cook Up and Buck. And because, like I said, for Slumerican, like, that label is just the shit. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, and you know that ain't me just saying that.
Yeah.
I'm really a fan of the label. Like, I like the music, all that's fine, but I'm really a fan of the label and the push, because I know y'all repping Nashville
all the way. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when is I know you guys are you guys on tour right now? I know, is Jelly still on tour?
Jelly's still on tour. We have 2 more dates with Jelly. We're home for like 3 weeks. We just got home 2 nights ago. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited about that. We got, a little time off. But then we go back out on the 20th, I believe it is. And it's a mix of Yelawolf headline dates with some Jelly dates. The 2 Jelly dates.
That's hard.
Yeah.
That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Like I said, I'm waiting on Jelly. I'm waiting on Wolf, and I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I had to get my boy Ed on here, and I'm good. See, I got pull around here. See, y'all ain't got no pull in this city like I do. Look who I got sitting right here, my guy.
Let's go.
But you know what I'm saying? But I appreciate you for what y'all doing, man. I want to thank you for coming through, man. It was a blessing.
Bro.
And man, this guy, it's like, this guy has told me nothing but yes. Ever since I met him over, Shy gave me his number, and I met him over a text, and it was like first thing he said, "Man, come down to my office, man. It's cool." And he showed me a yes, and it spoke to me about Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if everybody in Nashville, and I seen, because I want to see us make it so bad, I think if everybody had the attitude like you got, just giving a chance, even though, like you said, you didn't even want to give Shy a chance, but get what you said. Let me give it a chance. And I think if we come together like that, I think we'll be a way better community.
And let me say this, just to be crystal clear, like, I didn't meet Shy yet before I said I didn't want to. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was the idea of a young female rapper. Like, I wasn't familiar at the time. And it took me meeting her and seeing her ambition, her talent, and her support system. And I was like, all right, this all adds up. This all makes sense. And now we're homies. You know what I mean? That's her whole family. That's my people.
Facts.
But,
So, I mean, like I said.
I love what you're doing for Nashville, man. It's dope.
I'm gonna look. One thing I'm holding down for everybody. I'm not on nobody's side.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like ride nobody. Like I don't look at. I'm a man. I like God. That's the person I look up to. But I'm always gonna hold it down for all my people. You know what I'm saying? Especially in the entertainment, because I understand that we deserve a spot, a real spot, in there. And I'm talking about a lot of us. I'm not just talking about 2, 3. We got Buck, we got Jellyroll, we got Yellow, but I'm talking about as a crowd of, it's about 50 should be in there right now. You know 100%, what I mean?
100%, yeah.
And so I'm gonna be trusting on you to, you know what I mean, to take us to another level, like, because Yellow finna be chilling in a minute.
Yeah, he's chilling now. You know what
I know he's chilling now.
He's just still hustling because that's what he's got in him. You know what I mean?
And his artists coming behind him, I know they're gonna be great. But I think somebody can have a great big label here. So man, like I said, Ed, I want to tell you thank you for coming through.
Man, thank you for having me.
Man, it was a blessing. And tell them where to find you at so they can reach you in case they want to see.
I deal with Instagram mostly. It's Edward.Crowe, Crowe.
Facts. And guess what?
Find me.
If you need a manager, they got to pay you, don't they?
Oh yeah.
Hey, we took Shy and Yellow. We ain't taking nobody else on. But no, seriously, if y'all need anything, man, reach out to Ed, man, and make sure you support everything that Nashville's doing and Slumerican. Make sure you support everything they doing. And again, if you alive, subscribe.
If you alive, subscribe. Let's go.